Hi everyone, welcome to the RSM Campus Automation Challenge submission by Central Region Team 8. Unfortunately, I'm the only one in our team participating in the challenge. I'm Anish Praduturu, an international student from India. I'm currently pursuing my first year of Masters in Computer Science at Missouri University of Science and Technology in Rolla, Missouri. I recently completed my undergrad in Computer Science and Engineering at Lovely Professional University in India. While I was pursuing my undergrad, I participated in several events and also completed two internships. I love creating websites, so in my first internship, I was a web developer intern at the Sparks Foundation, where I built and hosted a basic banking website where Bitcoin was a currency. In my second internship, I learned, built, and tested client websites on HiQ to meet client requirements for contract lifecycle management, matter management, document management, workflow automation, legal front door, and many other things. In addition, in 2019, I also participated in Automation Anywhere's bot aspirant program conducted while I was an undergrad. I'd like to carry one of my hobbies with me every time, and currently I'm into clicking pictures and also listening to music. As for the challenge, here is a recording of the bot being executed. Before I dive deep into how I created the bot and explain more in detail, I'd like to point out that I tried three different techniques to complete the challenge. I tried to improve the time taken to complete the task from technique to technique. And the method I used for the current bot was the most efficient in my opinion. The first bot was completing the task in about 68 seconds, which was later improved to 39 seconds in the second technique. And the current bot completes the task in around 20 seconds. To begin, I'd like to divide the challenge into three parts: reading, identifying, and entering the data. So, to read the data, I simply chose the Excel basic open action to read the file that I completed in the first line, where choosing the file and read in read and write mode. Lines 2 to 12 are used to identify and enter the data. The second line will open the RPA challenge website in a new tab. And the third line is used to launch the challenge by clicking on the start button using the recorder action. Then comes the loop, in which I read the record from the Excel file by specifying the rows from 2 to 11, assigning a variable Excel row to the record so that I can use it later inside the loop to enter the data. I use the recorder action to capture the data and identify the field, like I did for the first name here. But because of the field location changed with each submission, I had to find a unique attribute that was only related to the field and shouldn't change with each submission. I tried many other object properties like ID, path, outer HTML, class, tag index, and many more, but they only worked for one cycle. And we want them to be unique to identify and simultaneously the same in future submissions as well. So I started inspecting the elements on the RP challenge website, where I find the only relation for them is the ng reflect name attribute, which I can't find in the object properties while building the bot. But I remember identifying the XPath for the field using the label name, which stays the same in all submissions. And so I use the XPath, also known as the DOM XPath, to accurately identify the fields. So to write the XPath, we just press Ctrl F to open the find. And from here, we start by adding two forward slashes and then type the type of the field. In our case, it's an input field. So we type input and we open square brackets, and inside the square brackets we mention the attribute name as @ attribute name. and mention the text inside it. Which says the X path, or also known as the DOM X path, for the field which we want to enter. And this is going to be the same for each submission as well. So even if I submit it, and when I find the same, you can see the first name is denoted for the same field. For entering the data, I already created a variable Excel row in the loop to assign values. I use the variable with changing indexes values to enter the data, and this works successfully as the loop is dependent on the Excel rows, and there won't be an issue with this technique as the Excel files remains the same. Every time the loop runs, the assigned value to the variable changes but the index stays the same. Using the loop, this was repeated for all the 10 fields from Excel. And at last, I included a recorder action for the submit button inside the loop, which was also identified using DOMX path for better accuracy. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'd like to express my gratitude to my technical coach Mia Masoro for her guidance throughout the bot's development.